You want me to put that on my todger?
Prince of Pink Pancakes meets Phil in Japan. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Yes, the Prince of Pink Pancakes has got a reprieve from being made to run around in the chicken coop or having his pink pods squished. He's gone to Japan, riding the coattails of his bum chum, Nacho Figueres. He's gone there to meet Phil. Yeah. What do you mean, who's Phil? You know, he's turned up saying, I'm here to meet Philanthropy, because he's turning up at the Philanthropy Summit. And because philanthropy is something that's completely alien to the Sussexes in terms of actually doing it, rather than just using it for the purposes of looking good, and of course specifically in Harry's wife's instance, she utilises it to assert control over people, draw fuel, and manage her facade, well, then Harry, quarter-wit that he is, will have turned up at the relevant airport looking for Philanthropy. Has anyone seen Phil? Has anybody seen Phil? Yeah, meant to be meeting Philanthropy. Small chap, I think. Dark hair? Not really sure. Megs was on the Zoom message, so I didn't get to see him, actually. One of my building blocks had gone underneath the settee, so I was looking for that. So if anybody here is called Philanthropy, can you make yourself known to me, as I'm feeling a bit hungry now and want to go and play on the PlayStation. So off Harry has gone, and the Daily Mail announces this by explaining, Prince Harry tells waiting media, it's good to see you again. Oh, really? I thought you hated the media, Harry. I thought that's why you wanted privacy. That's why you wanted privacy. That's why you and your wife wanted privacy. That's why you concocted a completely fictitious car chase. Because you were trying to get away from the media. Because the paparazzi is part of the media. And isn't it the case, Harry, that your wife was apparently driven to contemplate suicide because of the behaviour of the media? And isn't it the case, Harry, that your wife claimed that the media had used the N-word in relation to your children? And that you apparently suffer some kind of flashback when flash bulbs and camera lights, etc., go off, and that you need to stay away from them rather than courting them. So it seems rather odd that you say it's good to see you again. Either you're just saying that as flannel because that fairly empty head of yours doesn't have much inside to use, or might it be that all of the other stuff is a load of bollocks? And that, yes, the media would get up your nose from time to time, but it's nowhere near as bad as your wife has portrayed it, but she does that, of course, for her own purposes. He walks through the airport crowds. Wow. He walks. He talks. He is the amazing Prince of Pink Pancakes. And he does that with his polo-playing friend Nacho Figueres in his first visit to Japan in 4 years to attend Philanthropy Summit. Prince Harry smiled as he arrived in Tokyo and told reporters, "It was good to see you again." Wow. Memorable quote there. Ahead of a summit about sport, community, and philanthropy. The Duke of Sussex beamed while walking through the city's Haneda airport, among the crowd of passengers wearing a black shirt and a dark cap, bearing the logo of the Archwell Foundation he runs with his handler, Harry's wife, who was not with him. Now, pausing there. Once upon a time, she would have accompanied him. She goes to the Harry's Wife games with him. She goes to Australia with him. She goes to Africa with him. She goes to New York with him. He goes to the toilet for wee-wee. She goes with him to give his willy a shake to ensure it doesn't dribble down his legs. That's called a Wimbledon, by the way. That last drop that goes down your leg, it's a Wimbledon. Anyway, hitherto she'd invariably accompany him. Why? To maintain control over him, of course, to draw fuel as a consequence of the interactions, but also arising out of the fact that during the golden period it would be important for her to be with him to present that appearance to the world. In other instances, during respite periods, she would attend with him because it suited her purposes, and often it was her making the appearance and he was getting dragged along also because it was important to maintain the facade to the outside world of we are a united couple. He, of course, would get the devaluing behaviour. Remember, I think it was in New York, where they were said to have been arguing in their room, etc. But the point remains that they would need to present this united front to the outside world by way of the management of her facade. But now, as the sustained devaluation continues and deepens, she allows him to go off in his own because it suits her purposes, because if she allows it, she still has that sense of control over him. He will, of course, be calling in and texting in from time to time, and she might do that to him to keep him on the leash, but it also allows her, of course, to get up to her own skullduggery, tracking down the next person that's going to replace Harry. One reporter could be heard off camera asking Harry, "How do you like to be in Japan for the first time in 4 years?" And he replied, "Good to see you again." Fantastic answer. A video broadcast on Japanese TV network, ANN News, showed Harry arriving at the terminal alongside his long-term friend, Argentinian polo player Nacho Figueres. The duo will attend Harry's fundraising centre-ball polo cup match in Singapore this Saturday, which he has said will help young people affected by HIV/AIDS. Here he comes. I've not had cause to really mention this twat for a while. It's the improbably named plastic-faced Omid Scobie, lieutenant to the Sussexes. Co-author of the controversial Harry and Harry's Wife biography, Finding Freedom, tweeted a video of the Duke's arrival in Japan just after 1:30 p.m. UK time. Remains to be seen, of course, whether he'll be big in Japan. Omid Scobie there, undertaking his role as lieutenant. He added, "Lots of fans waiting for Harry in arrivals. But was philanthropy amongst them? That's what we really want to know. The royal family have always had a big following in Japan." Note that's the royal family, especially Princess Diana. An interest in the Sussexes continues to be strong. Fun fact, Finding Freedom is one of the few royal books to get a full Japanese release. Yes, you engage in a bit of self-promotion, oh plastic face, nobody cares. It is not known which flight Harry landed on, but there are several services arriving from Los Angeles and Tokyo in the afternoon, including the 5:25 p.m. local time American Airlines flight, a 3:25 p.m. United flight, and a 2:20 p.m. American Airlines flight. Like we really needed to know that. One fan, who waited all morning at the airport for the Duke, told Japan's Asahi News, "It's a pity we didn't get to shake hands, but I was really touched because he thought I was philanthropy." The Royals fanatics said they had also been to England for Harry and Harry's wedding in 2018, but now they would like a refund after realising what a pair of talentless grifters they are. They then weighed in on the Duke of Sussex parting with the royal family, stating, "I thought it would be better for him, Harry, to be with the royal family so that they could ensure that his bottom was wiped properly in the morning. So I think that's a difficult problem." The Duke arrived in Japan ahead of his attendance at the International Sports Promotion Society Sports Values Summit Special Edition tomorrow. Yes, he's well known for his sporting prowess. Harry will join a panel discussion with former New Zealand rugby player Dan Carter, an ambassador for ISPS Handa, which is sponsoring the Polo Cup. Also expected to be present are Centre Bar chairwoman Sophie Chandauka and Royal Australian Navy veteran and Victor's Games gold medalist Steve James. I dare say Steve James will want to twat him around the head and tell him that he's being a complete see you next Tuesday. In addition, the event in Tokyo is set to feature Professor Wim de Villiers, the Rector and Vice-Chancellor of South Africa's Stellenbosch University. I suspect he will be there to explain that South Africans are really exhausted because they're still dancing in the streets, celebrating the wedding of Harry and Harry's wife like they did when Nelson Mandela was freed from prison. Harry will then stage the Centre Bar Polo Cup in Singapore on Saturday, with the money raised used to support the organisation's clubs and camps programme, which provides psychosocial support to young people living with HIV. Well, in fairness to Harry, at least he's gone to a place and is lending his support by actually doing something, which contrasts, of course, with the behaviour of his wife, where she just talks about it. Speaking last month, Harry said, "The annual Polo Cup is essential to Centre Barley's vital work ensuring children and young people are healthy, resilient and able to thrive." The funds raised this year will support our clubs and camps programme, which provides intensive psychosocial support to young people living with HIV. In a time where being HIV positive is no longer a death sentence, we are empowering young people to know their status, stay healthy, and eliminate the stigma so that they can break the cycle. Since 2010, the annual Polo Cup has raised more than £11 million to support Centre Barley's work with children and young people affected by poverty, inequality, and HIV/AIDS in southern Africa. The Duke will play on the Royal Salute Centre Barley team against the Singapore Polo Club team, captained by the charities ambassador, Mr. Figueres. So it's demonstrating Harry actually getting down to doing something and being productive for once and not whinging. So good news for once in respect of Harry. And of course, free of his handler, it will also give him some respite for the continued sustained devaluation that he's experiencing. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.